Good morning and welcome to another Breakfast with Fran. We've been doing this for a lot of years, and the one thing that we know, entrepreneurs learn from entrepreneurs. We don't bring you any neurosurgeons on here because you're not interested in neurosurgery. I learned to play quarterback from quarterbacks, and I talk to quarterbacks, and I watch quarterbacks, and that's so important because out there we have a lot of pundits, that are making motivational speeches and talking to you about silver bullets and all the things that you could do to make your business better. They have one thing in common. They've never run a business. We only bring you every month for years now, business people, entrepreneurs who have their hands in the soil that have failed and then learned, and we transfer that knowledge from real entrepreneurs to you. Every month, we try to bring you the best thinking and real stories of small businesses to help you get smarter. Recently, our team had the chance to go into the field to talk with two great young entrepreneurs, practitioners of entrepreneurship, TJ Muehlman and Jared Malin. TJ and Jared are the co-founders of a company called We & Co. And we had a great time learning from them firsthand about the challenges they faced, the knowledge they've gained, and the customers they're serving. We know you'll enjoy hearing from TJ and Jared just as much as we have.
Hi, my name is TJ Muehlman. I'm one of the co-founders of We & Co.
Hi, I'm Jared Malin, and I am also co-founder of We & Co.
We & Co is the LinkedIn for service professionals. So servers, bartenders, hosts, chefs, folks that work in restaurant and hospitality aren't on LinkedIn, and there's over 10 million of them in the United States alone. And We & Co provides a platform for them to represent themselves professionally, get recognized for the work that they do, and then we let restaurants access our database to hire folks, which is a much better solution than Craigslist or CareerBuilder or what they're currently using. We & Co started off as a different kind of app. It was a consumer app, a consumer play that allowed consumers to thank people in restaurants. Kind of to Jared's earlier point, we're all about kind of helping this 10 million service professionals have a better life, to better their career and be proud of who they are. And so the original concept was around that, and it's a beautiful idea that unfortunately just didn't get the traction we needed to. And the thing that we learned in this kind of really dark time for We & Co, it was about a year and a half ago, was that you have to keep making progress. That's the thing I tell entrepreneurs now is always be moving forward, always be moving, making progress and be, doing something. And we learned very quickly that we had to test and figure out where the pain points were in the market. And that took us a good couple months to figure out that the old idea was really neat, but not solving a problem. And our new idea of aligning service professionals with jobs and giving them a professional profile was a real pain point in the industry and allowed us to really grow much more quickly than we were previously.
Yeah, and when you start a business, you better have a strong vision, but you also have to learn very quickly that it doesn't really matter what your vision is. You need to find that pain in the market and then solve that pain. And once you start doing that, you'll really see your business take off.
We had been out raising money for, 8 or 9 months at that point, and we were failing spectacularly. We'd raised a little bit of money, but we'd gone months without getting paid. We had to lay people off, and it was really painful. And we kind of hunkered down and said, we'd been turned down by a big investment group, and we said, well, hell, we got to figure this out. And we try to test, and this is where we really started our testing culture, our experimental culture at We & Co, where we just tried something. We said, what the hell, we'll post something here and we'll see what happens. And our user growth quadrupled overnight. And that's when we're like, okay, wait a minute, can we reproduce that? And it becomes very scientific at that point. It goes from hypothetical, like, hey, I'm just gonna try this and see what the hell happens, to, okay, now we've seen something, now let's get very scientific and very methodical with the way we test and see if the results are reproducible. And that moment was right around a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, and that's when we said, okay, this is the direction we have to go in.
What TJ and Jared learned is classic in business. We all think that I've got this big idea, and I want to make millions of dollars and just knock the cover off the ball. I want to be Google overnight. Well, Google didn't start out being Google. They started out in an academic environment and trying to put some library data and information together in some organized place, and it just morphed into something much bigger. Most big ideas, I would say all big ideas, start with little ideas. The important thing that entrepreneurs do once you've got the bug and once you've got an idea is go do it. Seldom does it just stay like that. Maybe almost never. I don't think I've ever started with an idea that I just kept there. I learned from that idea, and I learned about the marketplace, and I learned about the needs of the marketplace, and then all of a sudden I followed that lead. I looked at the data, I looked at the science, and I morphed it into something much different. But that should be ongoing, right? And that's the fun of entrepreneurship. That's the fun of business. Because when you think you have all the answers, you don't. You've got to continue making your products, your services, your business relevant to the consumer today and tomorrow. It's not what they were getting a year ago. You've got to anticipate what would they really like going forward. Stephen Jobs said, I want to give them, the customer, the consumer, I want to give them things that they didn't even know existed, that they didn't even know they wanted. And that's why he was out in front of the marketplace. So the good thing for you is to learn from what these guys did and also understand that this is everyday business. And it's the fun of it. You have to think, you have to ask questions, you have to be inquisitive, you have to be curious. Those are all really fun, good things, but you got to go do something. And when you do something, something's going to happen. And you'll learn from that happening, and that will make your business more relevant and may change at 180 degrees. And that's okay. That is how you will have success and joy and happiness in starting and running and continuing to grow your business.
I'd like to first say, at least with startups, and I think this is true of any business, if you don't adopt and embrace a culture of it's okay to fail, then that's terrible. So everybody listening out there, it's okay to fail. You should fail all the time, because if you don't ever fail, then you're not trying hard enough. That's my sort of mantra. So We & Co. has failed all the time. And that's normal, and we're cool with that. The key is you have to learn from your failures. You have to understand that you sold to the wrong customer. We've learned that some customers are not ideal customers for us. We've learned that there's geography at play. We've learned that there's average covers in the restaurant industry. That comes to play. We've learned to ask questions about turnover and how are their service staff doing before we sign them up as a customer. At the beginning, we would just sign up anybody, and I would actually encourage people, sign up customers and learn that, hey, some customers are better than others. So yeah, We & Co. fails all the time. We're just very good about experimenting and quickly iterating around those failures.
Yeah, and as a startup building something new, it's failure, failure, failure. Oh, here's something, and that grows our company a little bit, and then it's failure, 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 until we find that next thing that grows our company a little bit more. So getting into this for the first time, you're going to fail a lot, but it's through those failures you find the successes, and those successes can make a business.
And I would also say that the first year, especially in the startup world, the first year is the hardest year, because you're not used to failing that much. You know, if all of us have failed at one point in our lives, and some of us have failed all the time in our lives, if you look at my college transcripts, but you get used to it in the startup world. But the first year's tough, and Jared and I know that morale can get really low and it can get really tough. But you just have to keep moving and keep going. And by the second year, you kind of get used to it. And we've had some fairly big investment deals fall through in the last few months, and we're sort of, hey, it happens. A year ago it devastated us, and now we're just like moving on to the next one. And you just have to be that way.
The expectation is failure in a lot of ways. But then when those successes do happen, that's when you can really celebrate. And you only need a few successes to make it work.
The guys talked about embracing failure. Isn't that a stupid idea? No, it's not. It's a relevant idea. if you're an athlete or you're an entrepreneur, you're going to fail, 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 fail. And you learn from the failure, and you know you're going to learn from the failure. You want to fail fast. You want to recognize it for what it is and move on. I never can remember getting disappointed with failure. I was disappointed when I didn't try. The more you try, the more you do, the more failures you're going to have. But that failure is learning, and you learn from that, and that's where your successes will come from. It may take 10, 12 losses to get you to something that you do right and get right and it is relevant. And it's all about staying ahead of the competition. It's always pushing the envelope to think about your customer, think about your business, to be able to try things that make sense to you today. Just don't try things just to be trying things. Have a reason for trying those things. In football, we not only changed our offense from year to year and adjusted from year to year, we did it from week to week, from quarter to quarter, from minute to minute. And that's how your business will evolve too. That's fun, isn't it? Because it will make you successful. It will help you get more revenue. It will help you get more customers. Don't fear losing it all. Embrace it.
The key to finding customers is to really kind of understand who your ideal customer is. And, for us, our path to finding the ideal customer is sort of kind of zigged and zagged as it does with a lot of people. But it's really understanding what their needs are, what their problem is, where are they seeing pains, and how does your solution address that? And so kind of just understanding that first is the way to finding the right customer. And that has helped us sort of focus our attention right now and sort of between fast casual and independent restaurants. It's sort of a big swath of restaurants that sit between those two endpoints on the hospitality and restaurant spectrum. So for us, the way we find customers, it's to find the channel. So if your solution, in our particular case, our solution is hiring. So where do they go now? Well, they often go to Craigslist, or they go to CareerBuilder, or Twitter. And the way we find our customers is to go where they're already going and propose a better solution than what they're currently using. That's how we've grown to about 100 paying customers in the last 3 months. We've been selling this for about 3 months. Is by going to where they already are and telling them why the solution they're currently using could be better.
Yeah, and maybe beyond that, really understanding where they are, and then if you understand who they are, then you can talk to them in a voice that they can understand. We started very much on a digital front, and more we've started doing face-to-face talking with our customers. And so understanding the most efficient way to get to them and make that particular sale.
The guys talked about how to go out and find new customers. Well, you've got to be the rainmaker. If it's your business, you've got to go and find multiple platforms. You've got to spread the word of what you do to everywhere. And that's why you want partners. You want to meet people that are doing something similar to what you may be doing, or a place where you could share information, share knowledge, share databases, share prospects. You want to use every platform that you possibly can to spread the news of the greatness of your product. So that requires partners, and partners are important. How do you get partners to do that? You do something for the partner first. You're willing to share your customers, your prospects, your database with that partner. When you show a potential partner that you really want to partner with, how you can help them and how you want to help them, they will rush to you. People want to do business with people that care. If it's all about selfish me and I want you to sell my product or help me distribute my product or help me message my product out and I'm going to do nothing for you, it doesn't work. Now, I partnered with IBM. I was a $1 million company partnering with a multi-trillion-dollar company back in the 80s. And I found out an interesting lesson. They wanted to make money. When I showed them how I could help them make a few more pennies, a few more dollars, they opened the door to me. They came and wanted to partner, and they did much more for me than I did for them because they had more power. Most people don't make partnerships work because they want the partner to sell my products. It's about me, not about you. It's got to be about your partner. It's got to be about your customer. Get rid of selfish me. And when you do that, everybody will want to work with you. Everybody will want to display your products. They will help you get to new marketplaces. That's the type of attitude you got to have. It's about your partner. It's about your customer, not about me. Hope this has been helpful to you today. We've enjoyed it. Come back and join us again next month.